And so to Essendon Ford Division 1 on Sunday. Nicole Kondos once again singing the national anthem and both teams lining up with arms linked. It was a real mix of opinions on this one. Adam, you and I had disagreed throughout the home and away season on the relative strength of these two teams going head to head, and of course the qualifying final still weighed on a lot of people's minds when they made their picks for the game.
It seemed like West Coburg were favourites, but I was on Tullamarine's bandwagon, and funny things happen in grand finals, Taylor.
So there was a bit of argy-bargy before the first bounce. It wouldn't be Division 1 without a little bit of that, and we'll stay with play because we get an idea of just the commitment shown and attack on the ball from the very first minute. It would actually go on to be quite a low-scoring first quarter, 2-1, and by time on, just 1 goal apiece. And the attack with which both teams went at it right from the beginning really typified what was an intense opening term.
Yeah, it was. I felt like the two clubs were feeling each other out a little bit. Obviously, they knew each other quite well. They only played 2 weeks earlier, and certainly West Coburg wanted to see what Tulla brought to the table.
A good tackle on the wing spills the ball to McMillan, and he would drive it up to the top of the 50. Mark Taken and Robbie Hudson wheeling around would pick out Rory Cleary. Maybe a hint of a push in the back there, but mainly in the side, and of course he wasn't going to miss from the goal square.
Whistle tends to be put away in grand finals. Teo and Rory Cleary, a VFL listed player, class player. We saw that on Sunday and kicked the goal there.
So things would really heat up with the low-scoring quarter we see here. Tullamarine venture inside their attacking 50, and as the ball comes out, watch here as Robbie Hudson is lined up by Steve Vernon.
Vernon! Vernon came crashing through.
It's on. Jared Smith didn't like that, neither did Omar Saad. Bang. It was only a glancing blow. If Vernon had got all of him, it really could have sent Robbie Hudson into next week. But both teams would come in and fly the flag at this point, and Hudson, to his credit, gets back up and goes on with the game. But this is when we really knew we were in a contest, because that was really setting the tone there from Steve Vernon, and Tullamarine then at a stoppage moments later would snap their first goal through Justin Marcy.
Yeah, good goal here by Marcy. Not often we see the emergency umpire out in the ground, Teo, but we've seen that before in Division 1 grand finals. Really good goal by Marcy on a tough angle.
And the aggression would continue here as we see a free kick which was going to be going West Coburg's way, but a bit of a boil over from Marwan Abdelwahid, and all of a sudden it would be reversed. Joe Laverty there you see pushing away a West Coburg player. Abdelwahid comes in to remonstrate, and before you know it, Jack Burns has been handed the ball in a set shot, but the brawling in the melee would actually spill into his path to kick for goal. We were saying he should throw it on the boot before one of his teammates gives it right back to West Coburg.
Yeah, West Coburg free kick initially, and Burns, despite the chaos happening around him, he puts it over the goal umpire's hat and kicked a pretty important goal, low-scoring quarter.
And so to the second quarter. It would start with a Tullamarine goal within the first minute, but it would be the last Tulla goal we saw for quite some time, and West Coburg really gift-wrapped it for them here with a turnover going across the face of goal.
Not a great kick by Glowry and board Smith. It just went over his head, and you can see Delaney set up Doyle here. Doyle will eventually get it here and kicks the goal. It seemed like Tulla had all the momentum, but that's where it ended, unfortunately, for Tulla.
That was actually the first double-figure lead of the day. Tullamarine up by 11 points with that goal. High tackle here from Sayers, and he must have said something that the umpire didn't like, because it was 50 metres straight away, and Abdallah is taken from 50 out, 45-degree angle to an easy one at the top of the goal square, and really that sapped any momentum Tullamarine might have gained from the early goal.
Yeah, Omar Abdallah, one of those match winners that West Coburg does have. You don't want to gift wrap him any goals because it'll give him some confidence.
So ball coming out of the middle here, real chaos, and then emerging and conjuring it into his grasp, Satana Makota, and look at that, he hits Rory Cleary lace out. So out of a big scramble in the centre of the park, Makota with clean hands and Cleary with a good finish.
Yeah, he's been a real favourite of ours all year, Satana Makota. It was really good the first time these two sides met, and he got the goal assist on that occasion, as we're about to see, Teo. He ended up getting a 6-pointer of his own a bit later on.
11 minutes into the quarter now, scores dead level. Makota, no one on him, runs to the top of 50, and look at Debri Catroli here, getting into a bit of a blue in the goal square. It started out as a shepherd, it turned into a wrestle and a fight, but ultimately he was able to distract the Tullamarine defence and allow what could have been a touchable ball ball go through for a goal, and Makota again linking up with Cleary. This is a good kick, and Cleary, with the defence converging, was able to mark going back with the fly.
It seemed like Tulla didn't really have any answers. All the momentum was with West Coburg. They were winning it out of the clearances, winning it out of the middle, and it was really tough for them.
Now, Baravi here ended up winning the David McWilliam medal as best on ground. We see there his work at the stoppage. No one near him on that occasion, and the ball might have gone out of bounds, but we're going to see a few instances here of how West Coburg were able to win the ball at the stoppages. Makota there again, breaking clear and sending it forward, and Omar Saad wasn't able to convert the set shot on that occasion. And then this play really showed how West Coburg was able to run end-to-end on Tullamarine. Omar Abdallah marking here and hitting up Bo Hopkins with the 45-degree kick, totally unmanned in the centre, and he actually picked out Fuad Akari inside attacking 50. He tried to milk a 50-metre penalty. He'd missed the set shot. Tullamarine didn't have too many winners inside forward 50. Burns blazes away, but there was no one home.
Yeah, the forward line was the issue for West Coburg 2 weeks ago prior to this game, and those fortunes were flipped on this occasion. Tulla just no fluency inside forward 50 all day, really.
Now look at Makota here against a taller opponent in the air, and then a blind turn to get out of trouble as well. The second quarter really was his own. It was 13 points at half-time, and Tullamarine would have felt right in it, but here Robbie Hudson picking up the ball inside the forward pocket, able to run to the goal square and snap that major, and all of a sudden 19 points. The margin was starting to stretch, and Marwan Abdul Wahed here, great work inside the contest, and Tullamarine unable to match him on that occasion. The play would continue on, and even though it didn't end in a goal, Waitman running off the back 50 there and leaving Kenton Mangan behind inside the attack. And look at the turn here from Fuad Akari with a bit of speed. It wouldn't end in a goal, but these were the gaps that West Coburg was starting to exploit.
Yeah, it all just seems to open up for you when you've got the momentum and things are starting to go your way. And you can see Baravi involved in there again, gets the snap-on goal, didn't quite work out. But yeah, it's funny how things happen like that, Taya, when you've got the momentum.
Hudson here going inside the forward 50, and Cleary just with a little bit too much speed and smarts to get ahead of his man, and once again would put through a goal. And at the 7-minute mark of the quarter, 26 points the margin, game high by some distance. And then perhaps a moment we thought was going to swing the momentum in this game. Once again, look at Baravi just having the ball on his own terms out of the contest. Put it inside forward 50. Pasi Schwalger spills the ball to his own advantage. Handball over the top. We think Cleary's going to run in and kick a goal here, but he inexplicably turns onto his right and gets done holding the ball.
Yeah, we didn't see much action on the opposite foot all day, really, and Tulla had the opportunity and didn't really make the most of it.
So even though we thought Tullamarine were coming back into the game, this really sapped the momentum. Mangan misses from about 25 out directly in front.
Deneen reserve all the way back. Mangan misses across the face, minor score.
We were all scratching our heads. The leading goal kicker unable to convert and still on a long streak of being unable to kick a major.
Has an eternity to work with here. And the shepherd came from Marwan Abdul Wahed, and Smith went down the line.
Now West Coburg would go end-to-end. Catroli here inside the forward 50, and it would end up being a mark to Omar Saad. He would go back and kick a goal, and at that point it was out to 30 points.
By the end of the quarter, they'd kicked 5 goals, 2-3 behind West Coburg, so that Mangan miss was certainly massive in the context of the game. He's had a great year, but admittedly it was a dirty day for the former Abbas man.
So ball comes out of the centre back to West Coburg's end. Baravi again with the clearance to Omar Abdallah. He runs into an open goal, 36 points the margin, and it's 2 goals in the space of 2 minutes for West Coburg. But they weren't done yet, because it would end up becoming 3 goals in the space of 4 minutes. We see here Tullamarine trying to go into attack. Great spoil coming over the back from Tom Watterson, who also had an excellent game. And look at Thomas Drake here, soccers it to his own advantage, runs onto the ball, a couple of bounces round the wing, and this really was just a player taking the game by the scruff of the neck, drove it long inside forward 50, and Barak would come up with the soccer off the ground here. That made it 42 points at three-quarter time, and really, party time had already started for West Coburg.
Trickles inside 50. Good handball out by Delaney, out to Egan, and he went looking for Tate with the kick, but doing the defending there was Watterson. Now Drake will poke it towards the line, and he does get it. Ball just bounced beautifully for him, and Drake can take a couple of bounces and dash forward.
He does just that, and then he kicks a high ball up towards the hot spot. Can they find a mark? No, it clears the pack. Ground level, Harms. He's beaten by Barak, who snaps around the corner, and it's just about curtains for Tullamarine after that goal.
So to the final term, and after Tony Lasco had reported from the boundary about the spray at three-quarter time by Ash Manning, no one thought that Tullamarine was going to be able to bridge a 7-goal margin and make a contest of it. West Coburg, as you said, Adam, able to enjoy the celebrations, and really you could tell when Aaron Kelly kicks this goal that party time was well and truly underway.
Pass back, Kelly, tough range, has a ping.
Party time.
I think it's good. I think it's very good.
Confetti
Aaron
released.
Kelly kicks the goal. And West Coburg are on their way to Premier.
They've released confetti. I think that's a pretty sure sign that they reckon they're going to do it.
So the quarter would tick on, and Tullamarine, who went from the 59-second mark of the second quarter all the way until the 9-minute mark of the last, would wait for a goal, and finally Sean Doyle, the man who kicked that goal in the second term, would do it again in the final quarter, belated at this point of the game.
Now they switch play. Smith's going to move up the ground. He's got a little bit of room to work with. The kick was good. It bounced straight up to him. He took a bounce.
Great run there from Jared Smith. Had an excellent preliminary final as well. Really a player who stood up in this final series, and Marwan Abdul-Wahed coming through, taking the contested grab, kicking the goal, and he would bring everyone in for a big celebration at that point, even the special handshake with Robbie Hudson.
And everyone gets around him. Marwan Abdul-Wahed. Out from his defensive line. Oh, big fly. No one able to come down with it, but there's the siren. It's all over. Essendon Ford Division 1 premiers this year are West Coburg, and they do it in style. West Coburg 13-15-93. They defeat Tullamarine 5-10-40, and they're destined for Strathmore Community Bank Premier Division in 2015.
Goal kickers for West Coburg, your Division 1 premiers for 2014. Warrie Cleary ended up with 4 for today. 2 for Omar Abdallah, Stefan Barak. Singles for Aaron Kelly, Omar Saad, Satanta Makota, Robbie Hudson and Marwan Abdul-Wahed. For Tullamarine, 2 goals for Sean Doyle. Singles for Steve Vernon, Justin Marcy, Jack Burns, and that's it.
Geez, this is one thing that I love watching in local footy. All the supporters and members get around the premiership side.
And Adam, as we see in the scenes of celebration here, and then the further celebration as the siren sounded, the cup was hanging over, and West Coburg would go on to sing the song out on the ground. How does it leave you feeling about the season that they had in the end? They were the best team that finished top of the table. They got smacked in the face in the qualifying final, but they came back and proved to everyone that they belong in Strathmore Community Bank Premier Division.
Yeah, and the fact that it did get done, it does show how even, I suppose, Essendon Ford Division 1 is. It has been that way for a couple of years now. I feel like West Coburg were ready to get promoted, Teo. Tullamarine being one of the smaller clubs in the league, I don't feel like they were ready just yet. I'm sure long term they'll have the ambitions of going up and obviously being competitive in the top division, because their senior team is very good. They've got a great coach, but when you've got Dignorel coming on board and a wealth of talent at your disposal as well, and so many players with VFL experience, it just seems like West Coburg's ready for Premier Division, and all the best to them in 2015.
And just finally on Tullamarine, they had players that were going to retire. Does the pain of grand final defeat mean they go around again?
And obviously they probably will lose a couple of quality players that will retire at the end of the year, but I don't think they managed to land Mangan last year. It's another big summer. Can they land a couple of more big fish? Might just be those 1 or 2 little cogs, those little pieces in the puzzle that can take them the next step.